So this sponsored interview was brought to you by the project Lympo, and I would like to start by thanking Ada, who's the CEO of the project, for reaching out to me and for her interest in coming on my channel. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So let's get started. Can you summarize to me and my viewers what your project is and how it came to be?
Sure. So with Lympo, we're building a digital fitness wallet, which will reward users for being healthy. And the fitness wallet is only the first element of the whole healthy lifestyle ecosystem that we're adding to it, meaning a marketplace, also a platform to find the best personal trainer that already actually exists. And finally, we believe that later on, we will be able to give our users an opportunity to monetize their data that they gathered while they were submitting it in order to receive the rewards. So we want to make you healthy and wealthy.
Well, that's really cool. So how does the reward system work for participants?
Okay, so we are starting with two types of rewards. One of them is when users are training already with a personal trainer or dietitian or a physician or anyone, any health professional they found, health and sports professional they found on our platform. And then the personal trainer can work on a program for you. And while you're following it, like walking a certain amount of miles every day or swimming or whatever you do, everything that we can track with apps and wearables is fine. So while you're doing that, you can get tokens for the achieved health goals.
Mm-hmm.
And the other way is to participate in challenges. So we will work with a number of partners who would be able then to conduct the challenges on our platform. So like one of the first one, we already have a partnership with a marathon where more than 15,000 people will be participating, and all of them can claim their tokens after the run.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we call them kind of fitness airdrops. So you get some tokens airdrop, but you have to sweat for it a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's a good incentive.
I hope so.
So I'm always interested in why teams pick their names for projects. So does Lympo mean anything? How did your team come up with that?
Yeah, well, we started with the name Olympic, which was from the word Olympics or Olympo mountain. Then we got threats that we will be sued by the Olympic Committee because even though we only used part of the word, still it was a protected trademark. And then we really had to come up with something really, really fast that has all the domains and so on. So we did a brainstorm. In a few weeks, we picked another name then.
Well, that was pretty quick. I ran into the same issue when I started creating my channel and my handles and everything, is looking for domains that are free across all social media. And you would think that it may not be that difficult, but it is very difficult.
It is. I think many people own so many domains right now, and they just ask for incredible amounts of money for that.
Absolutely, for sure. I see there's a lot of talk about the airdrop that you're distributing in March. Why did you decide to do a community airdrop, and what's the ratio of free tokens for the pre-sale participants?
So the first airdrop that we are conducting with our partner, Adu Wallet, is for our pre-sale participants only. And we don't know actually how many will, in the end, transfer their tokens to the wallet. So it's hard to say. We're going to distribute 2 million LIM tokens. And we're doing this because we really had some hard time working with our community, which obviously, as all of us, was very upset when the Ether price was falling so much in the first weeks. And although we remained firm and said, no, we pegged our token to Ethereum, and it's also our values and our ideology. Like, we do a project in the blockchain space, and we don't want to base it, on the fiat currency. But still, we felt that maybe there's something, at least a little bit, to show that we really appreciate these early supporters.
Well, that was a good idea. And it like you said, pinning it to blockchain, and because that's the point of the project, but it is difficult with the market volatility to expect or try to predict what the value of something is going to be.
Sure. It's also difficult, for a company to plan the finances. Like when you see a week later, you have only half of what you had. But then, we make this decision before going here. Like we do a crowd sale. Otherwise, we would go maybe, to traditional VCs or other sources of financing. So I think we're all in the same ship trying to sail through sometimes difficult waters, but we believe in the future of crypto and blockchain, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all do. That's why we're here, right?
Exactly.
So I'm not sure if everyone knows this about me from my channel, but I actually went to school to be a registered dietitian, and that's what I do for my day job. So your project really jumped out at me because I like the idea of incentivizing people to be healthy, because I see every day how difficult it can be to get people to try to make good changes. So what made you want to start this project?
Sure. I didn't know this about you. I only learned about it when we were in contact before the interview. So congrats for doing,
Thanks.
this important work and helping people to be healthier. So actually, Lympo started in my home country, Lithuania, and it started as a platform to find the best personal trainer. And while we were building it, we were in touch with the personal trainers. We have now a community of more than 600 trainers registered.
Wow.
In less than a year, and we always ask them what motivates people. And one of the things that was recurring in these discussions was some kind of reward. Somehow it really helps us when we see our results in a reward form, even if someone is giving you points that are useless, or some kind of, I don't know, stickers. That still somehow helps you a little bit, because as you know, sometimes it takes so long actually to make an impact. And if you get all, lost and disappointed in the first month, then you will never get there.
No, you're right. And I see it all the time. And it's true. Even the smallest things like stickers or useless points do have a tendency to make people want to work harder or make people stick to it. It's very interesting.
Yes, it's at least this little reward that you can get, if you don't see the results immediately.
Yeah, for sure. So what kinds of health professionals do you guys have working on the team, and what are their credentials?
Okay, so I started this platform together with a co-founder. That was the project that I was talking about before, the platform that already exists and is a post-revenue startup, very successful. And he is actually a personal trainer and a physician himself, and he has trained athletes. He has trained teams that went to perform to the Olympics, to World Championships. So he was really well aware about, the troubles that people get sometimes when they over exercise, or what kind of traumas you might get. And then in our team, we have Dimitra, and Dimitra is actually a system engineer, but she's consulting companies on using blockchain in healthcare and also the public sector. And then, as we listed, like next to a description of every of our team member, we say what kind of sports we do. I think everyone is doing something except our head of marketing, who said he's into online poker and chess. Well, we can say that chess is maybe a form of sports as well, so it's fine. And then, obviously, if you look at a team of our advisors, so we have people who built already tools for personal trainers, and people who have worked with health data and all the security questions related to that for years. So we really trust them. Dr. Manset from France, or Alex from Australia. We also have some ambassadors who are health coaches or world athletes, world class athletes. So this is the diverse group with people with different knowledge and background in sports and fitness, and we're bringing them all together for this project.
Yeah, because when I looked on your website, I noticed that you guys have a lot of people working on the team from all over, doing all different things, and I was impressed by the size of your team, which was very interesting. And variety is good. Like you said, it's important to have a mixed bag, because everybody's got different things to bring to the table.
Exactly.
So how can users be sure that their health data and their information will be safe on your platform?
Yes, so obviously security is the main concern and also the key success factor for us. So first of all, one of our advisors has developed a product that a lot of healthcare providers are using, a very secure data storage for this type of data. And then when we talk about data, we also have to understand that what we're collecting, so the data about the kilometers you run or the miles you walk, is not the electronic medical records, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are not as sensitive as this other type of data, but we are still going to use the highest standards to protect. So the highest standards in the market that are used by hospitals, and that depends actually on every country. So
Yeah.
we really know well the US market because we're expanding there, but then we're going to take a look at that. But we definitely have people and advisors who have been working in this for years.
Yeah, you do make a good point that if you're dealing in different countries, you're going to be dealing with different rules and regulations, and that's a whole large undertaking of things to deal with.
Yes.
So I tried to find some competitors in the crypto space, and I came across Clinicoin and Bowhead Health. Do you consider these projects to be competitors?
So I've heard about Bowhead. I think what they're doing also, they're delivering some kind of hardware, which is then measuring the vitamin levels and other things, I think. So that's not exactly what we are doing. Now, maybe the most famous competitor is Sweatcoin. It's an app that, for every, I think every mile or every kilometer gives you a coin. They're also distributing the coins with the help of the DLT technology. But the difference is that we're not producing our own apps. So we just let people use the apps and wearables that they love. And also we not only measure steps, but also everything that can be tracked. And this is a lot. You can track heart rhythm, you can track the sleep rhythm, and even there are these diet apps. I don't know if your clients are using them.
Yeah, I see them. So, and you make a good point that you guys are definitely tracking different data. So as far as non-crypto based applications like Pact and Healthy Wage, how do you compare to that?
Okay, so I think, the difference here, and like in all projects that use blockchain based whatever payment reward system, is that the difference from traditional loyalty points or bonus points is that a company can just release another 10 million of them, and they only exist on our account when we log in. And if something happens with the company, we kind of lose all these points, and that's it. So we think that when introducing blockchain in this concept, we really create this digital asset, a new type of digital asset. And that's why it's going to be much easier to accept it for different providers and for people to transfer it, and also to, cash out when we're on the exchange. And you can also trade tokens and use them as money. So that's the difference. And then the other thing is that for later on allowing companies to access your data and getting rewarded for that, we plan to store permissions on blockchain. And what it helps is that with data protection regulations becoming more and more restrictive all over the world, companies have to have this explicit consent by a client that they gave access to this data. And we think that storing something like that on blockchain is something that would give companies also trust, and we could offer this additional service that they definitely know that this person accepts and participates in the program.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with you. You also answered my next question, which was, do you think the blockchain-based health app is a strength against traditional apps? And you do make good points that it gives privacy and a little bit more security in the fact that the information is going to be there and it's going to be accurate. So I see you partnered with I think it's pronounced iDo or eDo wallet for your token sales. Why partner with them? Why not just utilize their wallet? What's the benefit in partnering?
Mhm. So Adu Wallet has more than 200,000 downloads right now, and we obviously want to partner with the users of the wallet. But also, one of the things that Adu is doing is creating an ICO engine, and we are partly using it, and that really helps people to contribute directly from the wallet, and it's 100% secure, but also users can contribute just doing the KYC and logging into our website. And we're also excited about the future plans of Edu to open a decentralized exchange. And we hope that this is going to be what will make our partnership really, really beneficial for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, being part of an exchange is definitely going to be helpful for exposure. So one aspect of the project that really stuck out to me is that Lympo is trying to partner with different gyms so that the users can treat the gyms like an Airbnb and basically not need a subscription to one gym, but just to your platform that has partners, which I think is a really great idea. Do you have any major gyms that are willing to partner yet, or anything in the works as far as that goes?
So this is a B2B model, B2B business model, and it helps the trainers, personal trainers, any kind of sports coach, to have this choice and this freedom, and not being linked to only one gym as in some traditional markets. And actually, we didn't expect this to happen so fast. We had this idea when we established the company, but less than a year after we started building the product, a gym chain itself contacted us and proposed this, and we said, "Yay! This is
That's
exactly
really
what we
cool.
told you we're gonna do a year ago." So right now we're partnering with the biggest gym chain in Lithuania, in the country where the MVP is being tested right now, and it's going really great. And we think we're gonna add more gyms step by step. And then considering our launch in California later this year, we're in talks with many gyms, and we see a lot of enthusiasm there. I think the most important thing is that the community, the personal trainers and the coaches want this to happen, and then you know the gyms have to adjust somehow, and I see there's a real potential in this.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you. I was really surprised by that because it just takes traditional workouts and the way we think about gyms to a different level, which obviously is the whole point of progress and evolution, right? So I think that's
Exactly.
very cool. Do you have any upcoming partnerships with larger businesses or corporations that you're excited about?
So, as mentioned, now the biggest partnership that includes most of the people is the marathon that will be this September, where 15,000 runners can get limb tokens. Now, we partner with a tool for client management for personal trainers that has more than 3,000 users in Australia, New Zealand, US, and UK. So we're gonna integrate with them as well and give this additional value for personal trainers who list on our platform. And also, one of the partnership that I would like to mention is with a hype blockchain project PundiX that recently conducted a very successful token sale. And what PundiX is doing, building these points of sales in convenience stores so that it's so easy to buy crypto for everyone. That's where we want to be as well. And we are really happy that our token will be included in these points of sales, because with the token you would be able to buy athletic shoes, sports apparel, health supplements, and sometimes it might be easy for these sellers to accept, might be difficult for the sellers to accept crypto. But when there's a point of sale where you can directly buy or sell tokens right in the shop, I think this will be really, really great for our users and for the partners as well.
Yeah, entry level barriers for crypto in general can be very difficult for people who have never heard of it or experienced it. But if they walk into a store and they see, some sort of ATM or something there, and it's much more, less intimidating, I think that certainly is going to help some more adoption.
Yes, we still see that people struggle. It's not so. It requires some knowledge and some trust in the system to open the wallets, transfer money, trade, like exchanges, and so on. So I think point of sales is really where we gonna go next.
Yeah, I agree with you. So on your blog, your team shared an article about getting accepted to the Blockchain Center, which is the first blockchain technology center connecting people hailing out of 3 different continents. So was it difficult getting accepted to that? And how do you think that's going to help grow Lympo?
So the Blockchain Center is the third center, as you rightly mentioned. So there's one now working in Australia, in Melbourne, one in Shanghai, and the recently opened center in Vilnius, Lithuania, where part of the team will be staying, and the other part and the headquarters will be in Berlin. So getting accepted to the first blockchain center in Europe was a real challenge. There were more than 200 companies applying, as far as I know. Also, there's the community is so vibrant here in Russia, in Ukraine, in Poland, in the Baltic countries, and there were applications. There's a company coming in from Canada, for example, and so I believe that we were selected there to be there for a reason, and being a part of this network really opens us the possibilities to connect with mentors, to connect with investors, and to connect with these other markets where we definitely want, especially Australia. It's one of the number 2 markets where we want to go because people love sports, people exercise a lot, and Lympo would be great.
That's very cool. Yeah, I mean, being able to be in a building and network with people, that's definitely going to help. So what was the most difficult part about starting this project, do you think?
I think for me personally, was, I wasn't sure for a very long if it's a good idea. And it took me months to convince myself. So I think there was this personal challenge. And then, when I said, okay, let's do it, then somehow all the things came together and the team was there. The motivation for the team was there. People worked really, really hard for months to make this happen. And this was an incredible journey for all of us. So I think, this is also my advice for everyone. You just sometimes have to stop thinking and, just go and do it. And you will see good things happen.
No, I agree. I mean, if it's right, things will fall into place, and that's usually the way it works. So I'm glad to hear that everybody's doing well and feeling successful over there. So where do you see this project in a year?
So in a year, I hope that we're going to have a substantial user base. So there's going to be a substantial number of users using Lympo and telling about it, enjoying it, and telling about it to their friends and relatives. And also, my biggest dream and the vision, like why we're building this product, is that it is really helpful for people to be healthier and to get these incentives. And if we're going to even change, life of a few people, that's going to be huge for us. But we're also obviously aiming to mass adoption and tens of millions users in a few years.
Well, that's awesome. You guys have some good far-reaching goals, and I hope that you're successful. Do you have any comments or final parting words that you'd like to leave my viewers with?
Well, we just started our token sale today on February 17th. It's going to be ongoing until February 28th. So everyone can visit our website, lympo.io, and see how we're doing. And I don't know, the last thing that I would like to say to your users is that crypto is great, and checking the currencies is really great, and following the dips and the ups and buying, but we shouldn't forget our health as well. So be healthy, exercise, sleep enough, and you will see everything else is going to be okay as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have a tendency to let health fall by the side with crypto for sure. Well, I want to thank you again for coming on my channel, and I wish you guys the best of luck in the future.
Thank you, and thank you for this cool interview.
Thank you.
Bye.